In this life, intelligence is not inherited, it is earned. Not through louder voices or faster answers, but through silence, observation, and deliberate thought. The mind is like water, disturbed. It cannot reflect, but when still, it reveals clarity. If you wish to become smarter than people twice your age, do not rush to know more. Learn first how to see more, feel more, and understand deeply. This is the path of the mental algorithm, not programmed by machines, but cultivated through discipline, patience, and self-awareness. In the pursuit of becoming truly intelligent, not just clever or quick-witted, but deeply aware and wise beyond your years, the journey must begin in stillness. Intelligence does not bloom in noise or chaos. It is not the result of constant activity or endless information. It grows in the silence between your thoughts, in the moments where you choose to observe rather than react. Most people believe they must do more, know more, chase more in order to be smart, but the opposite is true. To surpass those twice your age, to develop an intelligence that resonates beyond facts and figures, you must first train yourself in stillness. When you wake in the morning, before you check your phone, before you move your body, there is a sacred space. That space is the birthplace of awareness. It is the place where strategy forms. The still mind is a powerful mind because it can see clearly, and clarity is what gives rise to smart choices. Not emotion, not urgency, not pressure. When you rush, when you allow your mind to become entangled in the urgency of the world, your intelligence is clouded. You are merely reacting, not responding. You are surviving, not mastering. The first training is to sit and be still. This does not mean simply sitting cross-legged in silence. Stillness is deeper than posture. It is a commitment to stop escaping your own presence. It is the discipline to remain unmoved by distraction. Your phone will vibrate, thoughts will arise, restlessness will tempt you, but if you cannot sit with yourself, you will never truly understand yourself. And if you do not understand yourself, you cannot understand the world. Self-acknowledge is the root of all intelligence. Stillness allows you to see yourself clearly, without distortion. This clarity is what gives you the ability to move with intention rather than impulse. In Shaolin philosophy, we say the body follows the mind, and the mind follows the breath. Therefore, to calm the mind, you must begin by controlling the breath. Deep breathing is not a performance. It is a way of returning to the present, returning to awareness. Each breath brings you back to the now, and the now is the only place intelligence can exist. You cannot be intelligent in the future or in the past, only here, only now. The person who can remain here longer than others becomes wiser than others. This is the secret most overlooked. They are always somewhere else, mentally scattered, spiritually absent. But when you stay here fully, your perception sharpens. You begin to notice what others miss. You begin to act with precision instead of confusion. The mind, when stilled, becomes a mirror. It reflects truth. But most people's minds are like disturbed water, shaking, splashing, full of mental debris. In this state, nothing can be seen clearly. They think they are thinking deeply, but in reality, they are simply drowning in mental noise. To see your life clearly, you must train your mind to be calm like a still lake. Only then can it reflect your true situation. Only then can you find direction that is rooted in wisdom. Imagine two warriors preparing for battle. One is pacing, nervous, constantly talking, constantly reacting. The other sits quietly, eyes closed, breathing deep. Which one do you think sees more? Which one has already won the battle before it begins? Intelligence is not in movement, it is in preparation, in stillness, in waiting for the right moment. Most people act out of desperation. The smart individual acts out of strategy. Strategy is born from awareness, and awareness is only found in stillness. When you make stillness a part of your daily life, you begin to access deeper layers of thought. Ideas arise not from trying but from allowing. Insight comes when the mind is open, not when it is pushing. Like the moon reflecting on calm water, your most brilliant ideas come in moments of peace. This is not passive laziness, it is active receptivity. It is knowing when to step back, when to breathe, when to let go. Stillness is not the absence of activity, it is the mastery of activity. It is the space where you choose your next move with full consciousness. The young man who can cultivate this kind of stillness will begin to see patterns others miss. He will notice the behavior of people, the consequences of actions, the subtle truths that are invisible to the distracted. While others are reacting emotionally, he is observing silently. While others are speaking to be heard, he is listening to understand. This is what makes him more intelligent than those twice his age. Not just knowledge but wisdom, not just speed but depth. You must learn to pause before you respond. That pause is your power. In that space you access something that cannot be taught in books or measured in tests. You access presence, and presence is the foundation of all mental mastery. When the mind is present, it remembers more, it processes faster, and it sees beyond appearances. You no longer live in illusion, you see reality clearly, and because you see clearly, you act with wisdom. This is what stillness gives you, the ability to act not because you must, but because you choose. Stillness also teaches you patience, and patience is a sign of high intelligence. Only the weak mind rushes, the strong mind waits. The strong mind trusts the process. The strong mind knows that clarity takes time. Just like tea needs time to steep, intelligence needs space to grow. You cannot force insight, you must create the conditions for it. And the first condition is emotional silence, strategic silence. There will be people who seem to move faster than you. Let them. Your stillness will outlast their speed. Your depth will outthink their surface, because while they burn out from constant motion, you will remain centered, grounded, and aware. This is your power. This is your algorithm, not written in code, but carved into your character. And when people wonder how someone so young can speak with such clarity, make such presence, you will smile. Because you know the answer is simple. You trained your mind in stillness while they trained their mouths in noise. You listened while they talked. You breathed while they rushed. And now you see what they cannot. The mind that is still becomes the mind that sees. When the mind becomes still, something begins to change in how we perceive the world around us. You no longer see only what is happening on the surface. Instead, you begin to observe. And when you observe without judgment, your intelligence multiplies, silently, quietly, with precision, like the sharpening of a blade, not by force, but by awareness. Most people spend their lives reacting. Every word they hear is met with opinion. Every situation becomes a stage for judgment. But this is not the way of the wise. The mind that judges is too busy evaluating to truly see judgment. Clouds perception like dust on glass. When you look through it, the world appears distorted. But when you clean the glass with non-judgmental observation, everything becomes clear. There is a powerful intelligence hidden in your ability to simply observe without needing to label or fix or interpret anything. The one who can remain silent and just witness what is happening is already steps ahead of those who rush to conclusions. Observation brings you into reality, judgment pulls you into illusion. When you watch a river flow, do you tell it where to go, or do you simply witness the power of its current? This is how you must train your mind to see people, to see situations, to see your own thoughts, not as things to control, but as movements to understand. The man who observes sees truth. The man who judges sees only fragments of truth. mixed with his own assumptions. Let us be clear, observation is not passiveness. It is the highest form of engagement. It is to be so present, so alert that every detail matters. Every word pause becomes meaningful. It is to live with full awareness while others live in partial presence. When someone speaks to you and you are busy formulating your reply, you miss half of what they say, but when you listen, not to answer, but to understand, you access information they don't even know they're giving. This is intelligence of a higher kind, not taught in books, but revealed through stillness and attention. Many young men try to appear smart by talking fast, giving opinions, acting certain, but the wise one knows to watch first, wait first, understand first. When you speak too soon, you reveal your ignorance, but when you observe deeply, your words carry weight. The person who speaks after watching sees more. Their insight is rooted not in quick thought but in complete awareness, and that awareness comes from observing without judgment. You will begin to notice things in people, not just what they say, but how they say it, their posture, their eyes, the tension in their voice. These are signals the world gives to those who are present, but most people are too lost in their own thoughts to catch them. When you slow down your mind and stop judging, you start catching these signals. They guide you like a map through the chaos of human behavior. The master sees more by seeing less, because he is not distracted by the noise, he is focused on the essence. This is how you become smarter than people twice your age. They are caught in reactions, while you are focused in reflection. They jump to conclusions while you sink into understanding. Even your own thoughts must be watched without attachment. Thoughts will come, they will go. Do not label them as good or bad. Do not try to control them, just observe, like clouds passing through the sky. When you observe your thoughts without judgment, you begin to understand your patterns, your fears, your desires, and once you see them clearly, they no longer control you. This is true mental freedom, and from freedom comes intelligence. In every situation, there is something deeper happening beneath the surface. Those who rush will miss it. Those who judge will distort it. Those who observe will see it. This gives you an advantage not because you are better, but because you are more present. Presence is power. Presence allows you to see opportunities others overlook, to understand people others misunderstand, to respond in ways that others cannot. There is also great peace in observation without judgment. You are no longer emotionally thrown by every word or action. You develop inner stillness in the midst of outer movement. When someone insults you, you observe. When life challenges you, you observe. This does not mean you feel nothing. It means you do not become what you feel. You feel anger, but you do not act in anger. You feel fear, but you do not live in fear. This separation between feeling and identity is created through observation. This is what makes you powerful. To live this way requires discipline because the world will always try to pull you back into reaction, but you must return again and again to the observer seat. This is the way you train the mental algorithm that elevates your thinking beyond your years. Not by force, but by repetition. Not by effort, but by clarity. Every day practice watching more and judging less. Every conversation, every interaction, every challenge is an opportunity to observe. The more you do, the more you understand. The more you understand, the less you react. The less you react, the more you influence, and not just others but yourself. The one who sees clearly acts clearly. This is the path of intelligence, not measured by test scores but by truth. Not shown in words, but in wisdom, and it begins simply with a choice to observe without judgment. Let others rush, let others react. You stay still, you stay aware, you stay free. Watch everything, become the watcher of life, not its prisoner. If stillness is the foundation, and observation is the lens, then discipline is the force that builds the structure of lasting intelligence. Without discipline, there is no progress. There is only fluctuation, sometimes high, sometimes low, sometimes clear, sometimes lost. But true intelligence requires consistency, not occasional moments of brilliance, but the daily sharpening of thought, action, and awareness. Intelligence without discipline is like a sword that is never used. It rusts, it loses its edge. But when discipline enters your life, intelligence becomes a living force, not just potential but power. Most people wait for motivation, they wait for inspiration, but you cannot rely on something as unstable as emotion to guide your growth. Motivation will leave you, discipline will not. Discipline is the decision to return to your path, even when it is uncomfortable, even when the mind says stop, the body says rest, the world says quit. The disciplined individual keeps going, not recklessly but with purpose, because he understands that every repetition, every silent hour, every quiet practice plants seeds that will grow into insight. You cannot be intelligent only when you feel like it. You must train your mind daily, just like you train your body. You must build routines that sharpen your awareness, just as a blade is sharpened on a stone. You must meet resistance and keep going through it, not around it. Because it is the resistance that builds strength. This is what most young men fail to realize. They want to be smart, but they do not want to practice intelligence. They want the result without the process. But the mind grows the same way. A tree grows roots first deep, unseen, then branches reaching up. If you skip the roots, the tree falls in the first wind. If you skip discipline, your intelligence will collapse in your first failure. Discipline begins in the morning, before the world wakes, when it is quiet, when it is just you and your breath and your thoughts. This is where the battle is won. You wake up not for comfort but for clarity. You sit not for pleasure but for presence. You move not because you feel like it but because you said you would. Every small promise you keep to yourself sharpens your mind, builds your character, trains your focus. The one who keeps showing up builds something unshakable inside, something that does not depend on mood or applause or external reward. And that is where true intelligence lives, not in books, not in data, but in the ability to stay aligned with your higher self, even when the lower self whispers temptations. Even when others fall away, you remain committed to your path. Discipline gives your life structure, and that structure holds your intelligence like a temple holds sacred space. Without structure, your thoughts scatter, your energy leaks, your mind wanders. But with discipline, your time becomes sacred, your focus becomes sharp, your actions become intentional. A disciplined man does not need to rush because he knows he is moving with purpose. He does not compare because he trusts his process. He does not get distracted because his energy is directed. Discipline frees you from chaos. It protects your mind from unnecessary noise. It guards your energy from useless battles. In every practice, there is a moment when your mind wants to stop, and that moment is the door. If you walk through it, your intelligence deepens, your awareness expands, your character strengthens. But most turn away at that door. They think it is too hard. They think it is not worth it. They think they can skip it. But the one who steps through becomes different, becomes rare, becomes unshakable. You do not become wise by doing something once. You become wise by doing it again and again until it becomes part of who you are, until silence becomes natural, until observation becomes instinct, until right action becomes your default. This is the gift of discipline. It rewires your mind, it shapes your habits, it transforms your being. When you live with discipline, your presence changes. People notice it not because you try to impress them, but because you are centered, grounded, intentional. There is no need to speak loudly because your energy speaks for you. There is no need to explain your worth because your consistency proves it. Discipline teaches you to delay gratification, to choose long-term gain over short-term comfort, to choose depth over distraction. It teaches you to say no to what weakens you and yes to what strengthens you, even when it is hard, especially when it is hard, because you understand that intelligence without willpower is like a map without a destination. It shows possibilities, but never takes you there. The disciplined man learns faster, not because he is smarter, but because he is more present. He retains more because his mind is focused. He sees more because his senses are awake. He improves faster because he keeps showing up. He doesn't wait for the perfect mood or the perfect time. He creates it through action. Even your emotions begin to obey discipline. You no longer react to everything you feel. You learn to witness emotion without becoming it. You feel anger, but you act with calm. You feel doubt, but you move with clarity, because you have trained your mind not to follow every feeling, but to return to your focus. This is intelligence in motion, not chaotic energy, but controlled power. In a world of distraction, the disciplined mind is rare, and in a world of shortcuts, the consistent path is sacred. Others may rise quickly and fall faster, but you rise slowly and rise fully because you build with patience and build with purpose, and nothing built with intention falls easily. Let others sleep in, let others skip steps, let others seek comfort. You keep your routine, you keep your breath, you keep your awareness. Every step you take with discipline becomes a step others cannot match because they have not trained for it, they have not built it, and they will not endure it. You do not need to prove your discipline to anyone. It will prove itself in your focus, in your strength, in your results. Intelligence is not about knowing everything, it is about applying what you know with precision, with persistence, with purpose, and that requires discipline. The one who trains daily becomes the one who thinks clearly, speaks wisely, acts powerfully, and lives fully. There comes a moment in your path where learning must evolve from collecting to understanding, from absorbing to applying, and in that moment a shift happens. You stop looking for more and start going deeper. You realize